My childhood was tough. I didn't grow up in a warm, supportive home, so the trauma I went through led to something called toxic stress. But it's going to be different for my son. I'm giving him the protection he needs to defend against it. Learn more at first5california.com.
You know what it is. That's right. It's time to talk money with your money nerd and financial coach. Now, tighten those purse strings and open those ears. It's the Money Talk with Tiff podcast.
Hey everyone, I am so excited because I have Marty McDonald on the line, and Marty's here to talk to us about being audacious. Hey Marty, how are you?
Hey Tiffany, I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well, and I'm so glad that we're having this conversation today. So let's just hop right in for the audience. Like I told you before we hit record, one of the things that stood out in your story was how you were audacious enough to stop a CEO in the hallway and pitch an idea. So can you just take us through that real quick?
Yeah, for sure. So Marty McDonald, I'm the CEO and founder of Boss Women Media and L. Olivia, and new author this fall. So we're lots of titles, many hats. I got 3 kids under 4. It's ghetto over here. And I'm a wife and all the things. And about 7 years ago, I was sitting in corporate America thinking, this cannot be it. Right? Like this can't be what success looks like. This can't be the end goal. This can't be vision. This can't be purpose. This does not fulfill my soul. And so I exited my corporate job after sitting 11 plus years in various Fortune 500 organizations to go bet on myself. And when there's something that happens when you are hungry and it intersects with audacity, right? Mm-hmm. There's power, there's momentum, there's purpose that can be had. And so after I exited my job, I was ready to not just prove to myself, but prove to others that I could win. And so I go to a conference in LA. At the conference, I meet the CEO of a high-end confectionery candy brand, and she was sitting on a panel talking about how she creates these taboo gummy bears, such as a green juice gummy or a champagne gummy or a whiskey gummy. And I had just left my corporate job. My background was marketing. I was obsessed with data in my job. I had to read it all the time to make decisions based off of consumers. And I had just read this data report from Nielsen called Black Girl Magic is Real. It talked about the buying power and behavior of Black women. I had that in the top of my head as this lady was talking, and I just couldn't really shake from it. And so as I'm sitting there listening to her, I'm thinking she should create a gummy bear called Black Girl Magic. Man, Black women would show up. And there's all this data that says brands aren't paying attention to Black women, and they're one of the highest spending consumers. And the list went on and on. And so after the panel session was over, there were other influencers on the panel. Everyone ran to those folks to get the picture for the gram, but I didn't. I ran over to the lady that I knew that could really potentially help me transform my business, and I could help her identify some gaps in hers that she wasn't focused in on. And I pitched her right then on the spot. I remember asking her, hey, do you know what Black Girl Magic is? And at this point in time, this is 2018. This is so taboo to be even saying out loud to a person who did not necessarily look like me. And I remember her saying back in return to me, like, can I say that? And I remember explaining it to her and educating her and then telling her, hey, I have a community of women. I could bring them to your stores across the nation, and we could have events called Black Girl Magic. And we could create a gummy bear together. And I remember her being intrigued, but yet not sure. And I said, I'll send you a pitch deck. I'll lay it all out for you. It will impact your bottom line. And she gave me a generic email address to send it to. I didn't let that stop me. I got on that plane. I started drafting that pitch deck. At the time, it was the best pitch deck that I thought I could have made. Now, looking back, it was probably not, right? Just so many things I've learned over these last 7+ years. But that was the pitch that took my small brand that was making impact in Dallas, Texas, and made it into a national brand because she accepted the proposal. And we went on a 5-city tour called the Black Girl Magic Tour, where we popped up in New York, Atlanta, DC, Houston, Dallas, and really shook a lot of things up. And it really created the landscape and the landing pad of me making impact for other women and creating community and creating a space where women could grow and connect.
I absolutely love that. And I love that it just started with asking the question, because I feel like that's one thing that people get kind of scared about and don't do. And for you to have the audacity, the audaciousness to go ahead and do that kind of took off from there and started a whole movement. So I feel like that is a wonderful part of the story. Now, I do want to ask you, like during this time, did you get any no's? I know you got kind of like a halfway, like, yeah, go ahead and just send it to this email that nobody checks type thing. But
Right.
after that happened, what did you do next? Like, how did you not give up?
Listen, when I was leaving my corporate gig, it was really the space where I said, I'm not waiting for permission. I'm giving it to myself, right? It was the first order of business that I made with myself to continue to push through because I received so many no's. But when you receive a yes, it could be a small yes. You have to stand strong and confident in the yes, because I believe yes begets more yeses. And so I remember the first time that I received my first yes, and it was a $500 sponsorship check. That was at the moment I thought, someone gave me $500 just to put their logo on a swag bag. Someone could give me 5,000. Someone could give me 50. No, wait. Someone could give me 500,000, right? But it's really on how you frame it. It's how you see it, right? Have I experienced no's? Every fucking day, right? Like all the time. But I don't allow that to deter me. Someone's no for me is, it either can stand for next opportunity. I sometimes ask questions in the no to say, hey, you said no, but can you share why? Why doesn't this work? And I take those learnings and apply it to the next person's potential yes, right? Whether it's a timing or a budget or not the right people or they didn't see the vision, right? Whatever that could look like and what their no is, I let it help me define my next yes. And so I think that we have to get comfortable with hearing the word no. We can't let it stop us in our tracks in our entire day. And it really can be the fuel to push us to the next level.
I love that. So taking that no or not yet or that semi rejection and using it towards turning it into a positive, maybe not with that client, but with your next client. I love that idea, and using those takeaways is crucial to the sales and business process.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that you have to get motivated by it, right? So, for example, if a brand says, hey, it's not working right now, right? That may have told you yes before and you went back to them, right? Or a client is telling you no right now. We live in a landscape where everything is changing right before our eyes today, right? It's learning more around the no. Sometimes we get the no and it defeats us, and then we stop right there. Learn about the no. Learn what the takeaways can be. Learn how you can apply the no. Learn where the person, the client, the company is right now, so that you don't look like you're just an opportunist for the yes, but you can also help solve the problem even in the no. I think no can feel transactional. Yes can sometimes feel transactional. How do you allow your no's and your yeses to build relationships is how I look at it.
Yes, yes, I love that. And I'm going to start doing that today. If I have to say no, or if I get a no, sorry, I'm going to say, well, is there a particular reason or are there other, keys that you ask people if they do say no? Like, do you just, how do you go about that conversation?
Absolutely. I probe, right? So depending on what the no is, I either preface it with, have you given up on the opportunity to get a response from them, right? And if from that, when you're learning how to negotiate, essentially, right? If you've given up on the opportunity, can you share with me why? If the answer is no, most likely they'll share with you, right? The timing isn't right, right? I understand this time isn't right, but what would be a better time next year? How do we get ahead of it? Budgets have already cycled through, right? And when are you making your budgets for 25, 26, 26, 27, whatever that looks like, right? When will you start making those proposals, and how can I get into the fold now, right? But it's being ahead of it versus getting behind it, knowing what questions to probe based off of the situation that you are against. I 1000% would recommend to anyone who is receiving a no to look into, how do I negotiate from the perspective that I'm adding value to their no that will keep them intrigued.
Yes, yes, I love that. Now, I want to kind of switch topics a little bit, but it's still the same topic. Like I mentioned in the beginning, you have a book called Audacious, where you talk about all these different things. What else can people expect from the book?
Oh man, the book is just filled with so many blueprint lessons, right? The book is not just a self help book, right? The book really is a blueprint on how you should live life. For the person who might feel stuck and they don't really know where they belong today, this book is for you. For someone who is like trying to navigate, how do I remove the fears and the limiting beliefs? This is a book for you. I go deep and I share, how do you define your vision, right? And how do you align it to your values? Because I think it's one thing to wanting a life. It's another thing when you are being intentional and aligning that life to how you live every single day, right? Whether you've reached the North Star or not, right? And then I share with folks how to craft their story. So many folks don't know how to tell their own unique story. And with the lane of social media, you see all the time everyone telling the exact same story. A headline comes out in the news, someone takes that clip, it's like almost like clickbait, and then everyone says the same thing. They're not adding any value, right? And so it's, how do you craft your story? How does Tiffany craft her story? How do you shift your mindset and allow it to be used from an authentic and courageous space? And then I think this is the piece that a lot of folks don't talk about, is how do you unlock your network, right? How do you use your network to help you get to where you want to go while you're also helping other folks get to where they need to go? And then I wrap the book at the end with something that's so unpredictable for a book that's guided in really this way for dreamers and achievers. I wrap the book with a chapter around leaving space for miracles to happen. And I think that it has been the piece of the pie that has made me successful. I can do all of these things, but my faith has really taken a unique stance in how these things have come to pass, because in so many ways, I can't even give credit to myself, right? There's something higher than me that I know that I'm on the right track and pushing, because it's never about me. And I'm leaving space for miracles to happen while I'm building the strategy for success.
Yes.
And I'm so excited for this book to come out into the world. There's a whole bunch of stories that are crazy, and me building Boss Woman Media, and me building my children's brand, and me having twins, and me having my first daughter, right? There's a lot that has happened over the last 5 years of my life that's really placed in this book. And I hope it to be a true blueprint and a roadmap for people to understand my lived experience, but to utilize the proven tools to help them.
Yes, yes, I love that. And I'm glad that you put that part of the book too, because I was just telling someone the other day, like, it's miracles all around you. Like, it just happens. And it's sometimes you just can't explain how things happen. They just do. And so I'm glad that you hit on that. Now, you told us what's in the book, but where could we find the book?
Yeah, so the book is on pre-order right now. The book comes out October 14th. But here's the thing. I got a book deal with Hachette Publishing, right? Not a lot of Black authors get book deals. I need everybody's support. I need everyone to go out and to pre-order this book. It tells the stores how much they should expect when they place an order, how this book is going to do in the marketplace, right? So you can pre-order this book on Amazon, on Barnes & Noble, Walmart, or Target, wherever you decide to purchase from. I would immensely love the support in this season. The book will come out in October 14th to be exact. But from now into October, you can pre-order the book to support and to show that, Black authors matter, and that there is a community of folks that are rallying around authors right now to support them.
Yes, yes. And Black authors do matter. I come from a line of authors. My mom's an author. My aunt's an author. My kids are even authors. I'm the only one that hasn't released a book yet.
So waiting on you, Tiff.
I know it's coming. It's coming. But yes, thank you so much. And where could people find you if they wanted to learn more about you, your journey, more about the book? Where could they find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. My personal Instagram is at Marty, MartyT McDonald, or my business Instagram at Boss Women Media. That's where you can find me and to support me.
Perfect.
You can also head over to bosswomen.org/audacious to pre-order the book.
Perfect. I will make sure I have all of those links in the show notes for our audience. So if you are listening and you didn't get that, make sure you check out the show notes. It'll all be there. Thank you again so much, Marty, for coming on the show today and talking to us about this important topic. Because honestly, whether or not people are entrepreneurs or just working a day job, this comes in handy because you have to be audacious. That's the only way to get things done. So thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so much. I want to just say really quick, it's not even, you're right. We all need it, but why not? Right? Why not? We all want to live the life of our dreams. No one wants to live in mediocrity. No one wants to live a mediocre life. So let's step into it. It's for you to take. It's for you to have. It's just if you believe it's possible. And I hope that everyone reads the book and knows that it is possible for them.
That is so true. All right. You all have a wonderful rest of the day. And thank you so much again, Marty.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening, joining, and being a part of the Money Talk with Tiff podcast this week. You can check Tiff out every Thursday for a new Money Talk podcast. But if you just can't wait until next week, you can listen to previous podcast episodes at moneytalkwitht.com or follow Tiff on all social media platforms at Money Talk with T. Until next time, spend wise by spending less than you make. A word to the money wise is always sufficient.